Well, good afternoon. Welcome to Wood Chip Woodworking. Today, we're going to do a present for my wife. It's more of a holiday decoration for the outside. We're going to make a wooden sleigh, a replica. Going to use a lot of tools. Going to use some wood from a pallet, and we're going to make this sleigh look as genuine as we possibly can. So welcome to Wood Chip Woodworking. Please feel free to share, subscribe, and like. Leave some comments below on your thoughts and comments of what this project might be. Enjoy it. Don't like it. Think I should have done something different. Let me know. All right, let's get started on our project. Hang tight. All right, so here's my drawing. I laid everything out what I need. I thought this would be kind of an interesting project. So if you like it, there's my dimensions, and let's see what we can come up with. All right, let's get started. So first of all, we're going to do this base part here because that has to be painted, and I want to get it painted and let it dry before we move on to this part down here. So let's get started on that part. So the runners, the whole sled is going to be 16 inches wide, 4 foot tall. So the runner's got to be 4 foot or 5 foot long, 4 inches tall. And I have some, like I said, some pallet wood here that we're going to use to cut right here. So we're going to cut this down, break this down, and see what we come up with. So I need 2 pieces that are 5 foot long. And I got to cut the end of it off here. And since I got to cut that end off, I'm going to just knock it down right here and see if we can get 2 of them out of this one piece. Not quite. So we got more to work with, so that's not a big deal. All right, so I want to cut this off at 5 foot. So, whoop, 5 foot there. Yeah, you can see still. I kind of try to do better at making sure that you see what's going on my videos. Actually, I might cut it off from the other end because I got a bad spot here. So let's measure back this way. I'm going to cut it off this end. So 5 foot would be right here. All right, we're going to cut that off there. Here we go. We're going to hang on to this piece because we'll need that later. So that's one. All right, let me get this off to the side. Get another one in here, and we'll cut him off. All right, let's see here. Yep. All right, so I'll knock you. And again, the other end needs squared off, but that's all right. So I'm just going to go roughly 5 foot there. Right to there. And it doesn't have to be perfect because we got to cut all this other stuff out of it anyway, cut the shape and all that good stuff. So it doesn't have to be perfect. Set this piece off to the side because we'll need that later. And these are our 5 foot pieces. So let me get you over to the bench here and we'll draw out all this and get this ready to be cut out. And we're probably going to have to cut it out on a scroll saw. Hang tight. All right, so we're going to lay this out. We got to make 2 of them. And we're going to cut that out. I need my pencil. And this, I need a straight edge. So let me grab a straight edge. I have a straight edge. All right, so basically I need to make the base 5 foot long. So I'm going to make the runner, I'm going to make the runner about this wide. So basically I'm just going to trace this down through here. Like so. And I'm going to lay this on here. Uh-oh. I see a couple staples that I need to pull out, so let's get them out of the way. Like I said, this is pallet wood, so there's all kinds of staples. There was nails in it earlier. Looks like we're in good shape. All right. Let me get rid of these two staples. All right. So I need to extend my line all the way down here for the time being, right there. And basically, I want to find something that's round that I can curve that up with. So hang tight. Let me find something round. All right, so we're going to use this bucket. And basically, we're just going to scribe a line right there. So this all get removed here. Actually, I want to extend that line down here. So I'm going to move this line right to there, because it'll come out right here. That's the line we want right there. So then this part here, I want these this wide. So I want to say kind of keep with my thickness here. And we're going to put this up here like so. So that don't break off, we're going to do that. Yeah. Because this would be a weak spot with the grain running this direction. So that's that. Now the top piece, I'm going to do basically half the width of this. So I need a smaller ruler. I got a smaller one here that we could use. And here she be. So we're going to do this one on top. So I just want to make a mark here all the way down through here like so. Oops. And a lot of this out here will get cut away. So it's not critical yet. All right. And I'm going to use this as my pieces to go between it. So if you look at my piece there, this obviously up here is going to be at most 40 inches to there. So I'm going to make it this top part 40 inches. So I'm going to measure from there to there. Actually, yeah. Let's measure this part here. Oh, yeah, it's long enough. All right, so we're going to go from this part here down is 6 inches, 8 inches. So this will be 10 inches from here to there. So that's where that first board is going to stop. And we're going to take, and we're going to go from here. I'm just going to randomly kind of put my mark here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to line the 9-inch mark there with the 1-inch mark there on this here, and that'll give me my angle that I want. So I just go here. Actually, I'm going to go 1.5 inches. That way it gives a little bit more of an angle. And I just go here and here. So 1.5 inches, 9-inch. Let's see here, 9-inch and 1.5 inches. Oops. Okay. Okay, how did I do that? 0.5 inch. All right, right there it is. And we go there to there. We're going to do back here, same thing. Right to there. And this one here, same thing. 1.5 inches. And then we go back this way. Put that there. 1.5 inches. Do the same thing here. And we'll do the same thing here. All right, and then this one here will be the same. And this one will be the same. And I'm going to stop there because the back of the sleigh, you want that to stick out because this will all get cut off here. And then this one would be to there. I'll go out one more. 6.5 inches. I'm going to say that right there will be cut off. So this will all be removed. So this will be removed, that'll be removed, that one, 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 and that one. And then this here will be removed out here. All right, so I'm going to set this off to the side for a minute until we get this cut out, and that'll be our pattern. So let me grab my drill, because I'm going to drill some holes in these here, and then I'll get my scroll or jigsaw out and we'll cut it out. Hang tight. All right, so we're going to drill these holes out here. That one I can just cut in from there and not have to worry about it. This one here. This one here. So you can see what I'm doing. All right. Okay, so we got that part done. Now we got our scroll saw here, or jigsaw, and I'm going to put our blade in. I'm just using a 1/16 blade. Alrighty, I'm not sure what happened, but it looks like I might have lost my microphone there for a minute. Not sure. All right. I'm going to move my chair out of the way, and I'm going to cut from this end on this. So let's get you turned around. Hang tight. All right, there we are. I'm going to start on this end, and I'm going to cut it out. So I'm going to cut this edge here, and then we'll go from there. That'd be the first piece. And then this one here will be this one. Let me put a clamp on that to hold it on the bench, so I'm not messing with that. Put it right there. All righty. Okay. It may look like I'm pushing pretty hard, but I'm actually letting it cut with the thing, and I'm not pushing very hard at all. So I'm going to make this a little bit longer. I'm actually going to round this. There we are. All right, now I'll move it down, and I'm going to cut the next spot out. All right, here we go. We'll put another clamp on that just to help hold that, because it's vibrating pretty good. There, that'll help. Ready? All right, so there's my first one cut out, and I've got to do all these other ones. So I'm not going to bore you watching me cut this out, so I'm going to hold you tight, and we'll be right back. All right, so here we are. We got our first one done. I think it looks pretty good. We're going to lay our other one up there, trace it out, and we'll cut that one. So that's going to be my next step, is lay that on top of here, trace it out, cut this one out, and then we'll give them a quick sand and paint them. So hang tight and we'll be right back. All right, so we got her all traced out. Now let's cut this one out. Same thing, zip it around there, cut them out, and we'll be in good shape. I got to drill my holes. So anyway, I'm going to do the same piece that I got there, and we'll be right back. Got the cut out here. So got both pieces cut out here. Both my side pieces are cut. So let's go over here to the bench, and we're going to do a real quick light sanding, clean them up a little bit, and then we're going to paint them. So hang tight and we'll get over there and do a little sanding. All right, here we go. Do a little light sanding, clean them up, and we're just going to clean them. We're not doing anything fancy. All right, so I'm just going to keep sanding. I know you see sitting here watching me sand, so hang tight. All right, so we got her sanded. Now we're going to put a coat of red paint on it and let that dry, and then we'll come back and go from there. All right, so I'll go to put the paint. Yeah, obviously you don't want to see me paint because I'm just going to spray paint it on there, and then we'll be back. So hang tight and we'll move on to the next step. All righty, well, welcome back. As luck would have it, I ran out of paint, so I had to scrape by with what I had, and we got her. So it's drying right now, and let's get started on the other pieces here. I need to cut some pieces here, roughly 40 inches long, and then split them out, and then we'll be good to go. So I need to measure one piece at 40, which would be somewhere here. Cut him out. Yeah, it's fine. Got a knot at the other end. Let's see what the other side looks like. Yeah, it's good. We'll go on with it. All right, there's our one for 40. And then I need two of them at 38, which this one's going to be a little short. So here's our other one here. We want this at 38. And I found out, like a little tip, if you want to call it that, is to always cut your longest pieces first and then cut your short ones. That's a little short for the next piece. We'll get our two pieces out of that. And then I need a 36. So I got another long one here. 36 inches. All right. So let's figure out where our 36 is. 36 is right there. All right. And that takes care of that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to save this piece because we'll need it here in a minute. Okay, so what I need to do is set my table saw up because I got to cut these to rip these to width here. So let's set the table saw up and we'll be right back. All right, so our piece says they're supposed to be 2 inches wide. So we're going to set our fence up at 2 inches. And this is not an exact measurement, but it is what it is. Okay. All right. So we're going to cut these at 2 inches wide. All right, here we go. right, now we got our pieces cut 2 inches wide. Hang tight and we'll clean this all up and we'll get over to the bandsaw and trim them out. Alrighty, so we're going to take our 2 shortest ones. Okay, that's 2 the same length. Okay, these are our 2 shortest ones. This is our long. Alright, so we got our 2 shortest ones, and basically we're going to cut them to 36, but we want to cut an angle on there. So they're right on the money at 36. So I want to round this edge off. So let me grab, I got a piece of cardboard here, cardboard ring. So basically what I want to do, let me get you down here where you can see what I'm doing. There you go. So basically I'm going to lay this up on here. And I'm going to trace this corner to give that little bit of a rounded edge, like that. Do the same thing on this one. Okay, that'll take for the shorter ones, and then my next ones, we're going to round the ends completely off. So I'm going to put this like this, right in the middle. And I'm going to round it off like that. Do the same thing on this other one here. Put it up like that. And then the last one would be the center one, which, excuse me, I only needed 1 of these, which was fine. But I cut 2, not sure why I did, but, and that one gets rounded off completely like that too as well. So let's whip these corners off on the bandsaw. Excuse me. And the top part of the sleigh will be done, and we just need to make some other things. So I'll probably use that for the runners that go across. So let's get over to the bandsaw and get her set up. All right, here we go. We're just going to round these corners off here on the bandsaw. One. There's that one. Okay. This is going to be a tricky one because it's coming over there. So hang tight. We'll figure that one out. Get the other side off. Same thing on the center one. So what we're doing is we're going to flip it over and we're going to draw our line on the other side. So we get our mark over there. So we're going to use a pattern off one of these to get the same thing somehow. Like right there. Like I said, these don't have to be perfect. It's just more for a, this is an outdoor decoration anyway. So it's not a huge thing. We'll do the same thing on this one. And I'll probably clean them up on the sander anyway. All right. That way I can cut these scrap pieces out of the way. That one. That one. that. All right, that takes care of that part. Now, let's get you turned back around here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm over here talking to myself and I didn't even turn it on. So there's our pieces there. So now I need a piece. I'm going to have an inch and quarter space between them. So I'm going to put an inch and a quarter just right here and show you what I'm looking at. You know what's going to be easier? Let's cut ourselves an inch and a quarter block. Hang tight. All right, so we got our inch and a quarter blocks cut. And get you around here so you can see what I'm doing. So I got an inch and a quarter block. I'm just going to lay this between here and here. That's where that one lays. And I put this one right up against that one without moving them. Like that. Put that there. Like that. And like that. So that's what it's going to look like. So we need to cut strip over across from here to here. And it's basically, I'm going to just go on the inside. So I'm going to go 15 inches. Two pieces 15 inches long. That's where this one's going to come into play. So it wasn't a total waste. I cut that. So 15 inches long. And alrighty. And one more. Okay. So then this will go on top of there, and it'll go up on top of there. Perfect fit. Okay. So now what we want to do is we want to find our best side on this, and we're going to put the fasten these on. So that's good. That'll be all right. That one, we're going to put that. So I'm putting my best side down. Yeah, works out perfectly. All right. So what we're going to do here is we're going to get some glue. I'm going to put this one here. And we're going to say we're going to put it 10 inches up from the end. And probably 10 inches from that end is what we'll do. All right, so let me get some screws, my drill, some glue, and we'll get putting these on. Hang tight. All righty, so let's mark our 10 inches from the end. 10 inches from the end. We'll put it right there. 10 inches from this end, put it right there. 10 inches from this end will be right there. 10 inches from this end. And 10 inches from this one. Okay. So basically, we want to put this in like so. And let me get a square and make sure we're square with that edge. And that way, when I line it up, everything will be kosher. Maybe get my square back together here. All right. So I'll put that right there. And I'm going to come in about, I don't know, about 1/8 of an inch or so. And I need to get my glue. Get my glue. Got to have a little glue. All righty. All right. Okay. We're going to stick that like that. We need to make sure we got plenty of room over here for the side panel to go. Actually, that's going to go on top of this, attached to that anyway. So we're all right. Never mind. I think I might need another one in the center, is what I'm thinking I might want to do. So I'm going to put a little dab of glue there. Set this, like I said, about 1/8 of an inch there. Square it up, the edge of that. Drill hole. We're going to put 2 screws in it. And alrighty. I'm going to make sure everything's square. Alrighty, good. And these are just drywall screws I'm using. Okay, that takes care of that one. Move our little block over to the next one. Line our mark up. Put a little glue here. Lay that mark. Oh, I need the spacer here. Like that. And I'm going to try to keep this square right down here. Okay, that's good. Goes right there. That should be good. Put my spacer up there. There we are. 2 screws. And all right, I will continue to put this together and we'll be right back. Hang tight. All right, so there's our top of our sleigh, just like that. Looks pretty good. So let's go get our legs and put down on the side. We'll get them mounted on there and we'll be in good shape. So hang tight. All right, so our sleigh is taking shape, if I have to say so. Get you over here where you can see. Hang on, hang tight. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill a hole right through here into that, out in the center. There we are. And then I got me a long screw that I'm going to put in there, and that will hold that. Put that right on that edge. Like that. And do the same thing at the other end here. One of the things I want to do is glue that. So I'm going to take this back loose. Put just a dab of glue on that to help hold that. Probably not needed, but better safe than sorry. There, there, and there. Ain't gonna hurt it any. And we'll put this back up here like so. Ah. All right. Put our screw back in. And grab our screw from the other side. Put that down here. There. And put one more here. There. That'll hold that. Now, the other thing I need to do is make sure my legs are exactly the same length on the other end. So I'm going to turn this around, and so I can measure that and get it right. So, okay. That's going to go right there. All right, I got to figure out is these are both the same length, and 9 inches. Okay, so I got to come back this way a little bit. Get my square here. It's actually 8 3/4. 8 3/4, right on the money. Okay, so I need a pencil. I'm gonna mark that because I got to put my glue on there. All right, so now I put my glue on it, and all right, I'll put this back up on there. Line up my mark. Perfect. And put a screw in it. Put a screw in it that will hold it. Still on my mark. Good. Okay. Same thing up here at this end. I think it's starting to take some shape. And one last screw. And all right, let's get rid of our stuff here and we'll be right back. All right, so now we need a piece that's 20 inches long for our handle. So 20 inches. This one here be right there. I'm gonna cut that right there. All right. So then it says 6 inches, but I'm at 4.5, so we're going to have to make do with that. So we're going to come in, it says 2 inches. I am going to come in 3 inches. Both ends 3 inches. And then what I'm going to do is mark a line. There. And there. Okay, so this Actually, I might go longer than that. Let me look at this and see how it fits on there. Hang tight. So guess what? We're going to go 4 inches. In order to make it fit right, we're going 4 inches. Put a mark on there. Mark at 4. Okay. So then basically what I need to do is come up here and make a rounded part right there, something elongated. So, and then this piece here will come out to there. So I am going to come up from the end. Let's see here. Let's get this drawn out first here. I want this to be, I'm going to come up about an inch off of this. Actually, I'm going to come up a ½ inch. And I want this 2 inches here. So I want this to kind of curve down to right in here. I'm just going to freehand it. And I'm going to come out here like so and round this edge. Kind of like that. Yeah, that works. So 2 inches from this here. And then ½ inch from the base. And then we're going to go out here. And then this goes up like this. And this will be rounded. You probably can't see what I'm doing. Something like that. Rounded right to there. Okay, so now this here, find the center of this. From here to here is 14, so this is 7. That's going to be the center there. So I need to go from here to here, rounded. So we need our trusty bucket, which is too small. So we need something a little bit bigger. Hang tight till I find something. I think I found it. Hang tight. All right, this bucket's a lot closer. So what I'm going to do is come up like this to the top of that. And I'm just going to round this over to there. Like that. So, come up like this. And we're going to round that over like that. And then this here, we're just going to go down. Okay, I need my smaller piece here. Because this here, I'm going to put a mark on this and say here to here. Like that. This mark there like that. Okay. So there's our handle for the top. That's what she looks like. Now let's turn around with the bandsaw and get her cut out. Hang tight. All right, so let's cut her out. Here we go. Get rid of my fence for a second. And there's our handle. We got to drill 2 holes in the side, and then we'll go from there. Get this attached. Hang tight. All right, so we got our piece cut out. Now what I want to do is put a 1/2 inch hole in. So I'm going to come in 2 inches from the end. And then I'm going to split this here, which is 1.5 inches, so 3/4. So come in 2 inches from the end. And this should be 3/4, yep. So right there. All right, so we're going to drill our hole. So I don't split it out, I'm going to put a piece of wood underneath it. I was just thinking about that. There, that works. Otherwise, when I'm pushing through, I would just split the wood out on the back side. All right. That takes care of that. So now, what we're going to do is going to get our sleigh back up here, and we're going to mount this. Hang tight. All right, so let's get this project finished. So I'm going to mount this right on here, and I'm going to put a hole right here. And one here. I'm going to go clear through so I don't split it. I'll put my screw in there. Get me 2 screws. And my drill. And I'm going to center that like that. And put that one right there. There. Let me grab some rope to put on it, and I will call this basically done. Hang tight. All right, so let's finish this off. So basically, I got this 1/4 inch rope. I'm going to stick it through here, and tie a knot in both ends, and we'll be set. So, hope you enjoyed this video. It's been kind of a fun project to make. I'm hoping my wife likes it. That's my next question is. I'll probably do a little bit of slanting, cleaning it up. Oops, I gotta put a new screw in there. I don't think my screws are long enough. Yeah, they're not long enough. Let me grab a couple longer screws and put in there. And there's 2. Put a couple longer screws in there, and that'll hold it. All right. All right, so there it is. There's our sleigh. Let's get you down where you can see it. Hang tight here. We're going to put you, hang tight. All right. There's our sleigh. So there's our sleigh right there. I'm going to clean this up a little bit, and I'll put a coat of polyurethane on it, exterior, and then we'll have it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm not going to show you the sanding part, but basically put a coat of poly on this, and it'll make it nice and shiny. Here's the top part. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I think it's a pretty neat little sleigh, little project there. Feel free to share, subscribe, like, and let me know what your thoughts on my sleigh. I'm curious. If I had to do it again, I might make it a little bit shorter, but overall, I think it looks pretty cool looking. I don't know. Leave me some comments below and tell me what your thoughts are. I'd be interested in hearing it. Sorry, I'm looking at the timer on it. It's 1 hour and 2 minutes long. It's a little bit longer than I thought it would be. Thought this would be a quick project, but nevertheless, I had fun doing it. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Stop and see us next time. Thank you and have a good night.